I'm here at the coop and we're gonna do a coop cleaning day. So I'm gonna check our level of food, and Parmesan made this really handy food bin, and it holds probably about 100 pounds of food. And right now we have crumble. We find that crumble lasts longer actually than pellets, and we have some corn in here too, just to try to warm these ladies up for the winter. So corn definitely helps warm them up, but you have to be careful of that in the summer. We'll talk about that another time. But we added these food cups here so they can get their heads in here and just peck around. They're chickens, they're not picky. They'll take it right off the ground. They think it's a treat even though they have full access to it. So looks like we're good on food. After checking the food, it's important to make sure that the chickens have clean water. So our water setup is not exactly where we want it to be, and I'm using my fancy cleaning stick here to make sure that I get some of the crud out. We're still working on this part of it, but they also have water outside of the coop, so just make sure that your chickens have fresh, clean water. It's time to kick the chickens out so we can clean the rest of the coop. We can lift up our ramp and kick the ladies out of the coop while we clean the rest, or whatever else we might need to do. In order to clean the coop, I need to open our main door so that I can get out into the open area and take all of the scoopings out. So this is how we keep our door secure. We have bears in our area, so it's very important that our door is very solid. Basically, barn door style, slides right open. We can slide it back, and then these keep it secure. So we have this here that lifts up, and it has chains to help keep it down. You can see it's pretty gross down there. I am also going to put this up, and then I'm going to go get my gloves. Okay, so I've raked everything up super fast, right? I put that in fast motion so you guys don't have to watch the whole process. I have a pile right here that I'm going to take out to our compost pile. We have a pretty good pile going of just leaves and things we break up, and I tossed this in there, and probably in about a year we'll keep turning it over the process of a year and have some nice dirt to use on the farm. But as you can see, it's not that hard of a process. Chicken poop dries and really isn't that hard to rake up. I don't get extremely anal about this space in here because I have decomposed granite down on top of a layer of concrete. So this whole coop sits on its own concrete foundation, which at some point I can shovel everything out and hose into a drain. But in the meantime, I can just rake up the bulk of it, and then I'll put down bedding pellets, which I'll talk about that too, and why we use bedding pellets versus shavings, which we've used those before too, and why I think that this process really works best for us. But in the meantime, I'm going to get this stuff shoveled out, and then I'll give you a little bit better tour of a cleaner coop. It's never perfectly clean unless we probably got a power washer out, and I'm not going to do that today. So let's go ahead and shovel this stuff out and get it out of here, and I'll bring those bedding pellets in to show you. So this is the bedding pellet bag, and you're gonna see that they actually look like little wood pellets. So you have to be careful. You have to make sure they're bedding pellets and not the wood pellets that you would buy for your smoker or your stove. And they're very absorbent. I leave the wood pellets whole. It usually takes about 2 bags of wood pellets to cover this area, and they're actually really absorbent and keep the smell down within the coop. Now that the coop is clean, I'm going to go ahead and put everything back in place. And as you can see, this just folds right back down and gives the ladies a place to perch at night. And then we also did the same thing with the ramp up to our nesting box. We put that on, we can either lift it up and hook it to the wall, or I can just take it right off and set it back on. Now that the coop is clean, it's time to let the ladies back in. Another part of the cleaning process is going into the open area and making sure that these water bins are clean and filled with fresh water as well. Okay, so that about wraps up my coop cleaning day. There's not a lot to it. We've done that on purpose. We just are trying to keep it pretty simple. I usually don't leave the coop unscathed with dirt and debris, but the ladies are happy and they like a clean coop, and as long as you stay on top of keeping it clean and raked periodically, then you should have some nice healthy chickens, and we hope to share more with you soon.